graphic nature of this program, listener discretion is advised.
Some people don't want you to say this. Some people don't want you to say that. Some people think if you mention some things, they might happen. Some people are really fucking stupid. Look at it this way. Think of how stupid the average person is, and then realize half of them are stupider than that. And it doesn't take you very long to spot one of them, does it? Take you about 8 seconds. You'll be listening to some guy. You say, this guy is fucking stupid. Then there are some people, they're not stupid, they're full of shit. That doesn't take very long to spot either, does it? Take you about the same amount of time. You'll be listening to some guy and say, well, he's fairly intelligent. He's full of shit.
It's just a coincidence that you were talking about the Jack and Triumph show, and I'm here. Thank you so much for having me on your podcast.
Hey man, this is Kevin Smith, guy who makes all those unlistenable podcasts over at smodcast.com, and you're listening to the Two Strangers One podcast. This is podcasting.
You're listening to Two Strangers One Podcast. Subscribe to us on iTunes or on the Stitcher app for Android devices. Please visit twostrangersonepodcast.net. Now, here's Chris Cologne and Austin Shooting.
Well, hello and welcome to Two Strangers One Podcast. I'm Chris.
I'm Austin.
And you're listening to the Pink Chunk and Bone Dozer show.
Pink Chunk and the Bone Dozer.
Yeah, Pink Chunk and Bone Dozer in the morning.
It's 5:19 in the afternoon.
5:19 on a snowy. We went to the mall the Saturday before fucking Christmas,
Which was brilliant.
Yeah, and my car battery died.
Yep.
And
neither of us actually know how to jump a car, apparently.
Well, I've had the guy. Okay, so here's the story. So we go see. This spoiler alert. We're gonna talk about Star Wars: The Last Jedi. That's pretty much the primary podcast. But
don't listen to the car story if you don't want to hear Star Wars spoilers.
And so we go to see Star Wars: The Last Jedi at the local mall. Not the local. Yeah, the local mall,
It's
I guess.
local-ish.
Local-ish.
It's the closest mall to me.
But it's crazy snowing. And literally, like, for the time that we're in the mall, like, I got there right before the movie started. So in 2.5 hours, 2 inches of snow are on my car. Battery totally dies. And so I asked, and luckily, like, Austin was parked right next to me. So I'm like, give me a boost, please. And I've had those same jumper cables forever. I mean, I've had those jumper cables.
Have they served you well? Have they ever had to serve you at all?
They've never. I've worked them. I've used them plenty of times. I mean,
you get a new fucking car.
Those jumper cables. I'm saying those jumper cables have been with me for like 3 cars. I mean, I'm not even exaggerating. Like well over 10 years. And we're there for a while, and I'm not getting any kind of juice or whatever. And I don't know what. It must have been just the cold because it wasn't my. It wasn't. I didn't leave my lights on. I didn't leave my dome light on. I don't think my door wasn't unlocked or anything. Like it wasn't like the door. Well, the door would be the dorm light. But then this guy comes. Oh, these are stealing more energy than what you got. So then he goes and gives me he gets his jumper cables.
His jumper cables can do the Highlander quickening.
Yeah, they were like, they were heavier gauge, and once you know it, boom, then my car starts working. So once again, spoiler alert for Star Wars: The Last Jedi.
Han Solo dies. First 10 minutes of the movie.
Where's Han? But so we okay. I don't. What do you want to?
How do we want to start?
We both. I mean, because we both saw it. I saw it the night. I saw it like the Thursday night it came out.
Yeah, and then I saw it Friday morning.
You saw that Friday,
and then we went back a week later and watched it again.
And like you're at work. I gave you like a hug when you walked in the door. I'm like, you wanted because we were both. You were like. People kept because we were both very excited about seeing the movie, and everyone kept asking, "How was it? How was it?"
And we didn't fucking know.
It's like I don't know how it was.
Still processing.
Yeah, it really was. And in all fairness, and anyone who listens to the podcast or follows my Stranger vlogs or whatever, I hated The Force Awakens when I first saw it. Like when I got out of the theater, I'm like, that's not a Star Wars movie. It's garbage. J.J. Abrams is killing my childhood. and
I came out, I'm like, oh my god, it was just pure Star Wars from start to finish. And anyone who's saying it's not right now, who I haven't met yet, is a bastard.
And so I didn't like that. And this one, it definitely took a second viewing for me to kind of like get my ideas, get my thoughts straight in my head.
Yeah, like the first time I watched it, I needed to talk with you for a shift about it.
Thank God, because sometimes some days we don't work together, but
So I talked. Yeah, I had to talk with you all day to figure out, to decide at the end of the shift, like, okay, yeah, I liked it, and then going into it the second time, I'm like, yeah, I like just about everything about this movie.
It certainly. I had, when I was trying to put my thoughts together, I'm like, okay, George Lucas built the house, and I guess Irving Kershner built a better house.
He flipped that house.
Then J.J. Abrams built like a shack. No. J.J. Abrams built the house like on the blueprints of the old house.
Yeah.
Then Rian Johnson just burned the fucking house down.
Rian Johnson came in and turned into a sex dungeon.
It's like, you live here now, motherfucker. It was like a crack house or something. He didn't I don't want to say I'm damaged, but I guess
it's like Extreme Makeover Home Edition, where it's like, hey, here's a decent house, and then you come back, it's like, the layout's not the same anymore. What the fuck happened? Like, I had a lightsaber fight in the kitchen, and now it's not there anymore.
It's like, I have these beautiful bay windows, and like we changed it. Now it's stained glass. Like what?
Yeah, it's
everything. Well, that's a weird analogy. I don't know.
It's just things aren't worse. They're just all different.
Yeah, every mystery that J.J. Abrams set up, Rian Johnson just flipped a big fuck you.
He just blasts a cum shot into your face of, this is what it is. Nothing huge. You've been agonizing for 2 years for, they weren't anyone.
Now, I'm pretty sure you've seen the TED Talk with James, right?
I have not.
Okay. J.J. Abrams did a TED Talk, and it was literally like he had this box that had like a question mark on it. And he's like, I got this box when I was a teenager, and I'll never open the box because my dad bought it at a magic shop, and,
the magician who runs the shop said if whoever opens this loses their soul.
And yeah, he said that he feels that building up the mystery is better than any payoff. Whatever the payoff is going to be, it's always going to be a disappointment.
That just sounds like an excuse for being like, I can't write payoffs.
Yeah.
So we're going to avoid them.
Yeah, we'll just continue. And obviously, J.J. Abrams did, Lost. I hope that's not my car. We just heard a thud and it's icy snowy outside. Well, what else? I mean, he did Fringe. Well, he helped start Fringe. He wasn't really involved with Fringe.
I'm going to look outside real quick. Make sure his cars got smashed.
Okay.
Just in case.
We're recording this while there's like heavy duty snow outside.
Oh, we're good.
Nobody's car was smashed. Okay.
Fucking horns are chattering. Keep talking.
So I'm trying to remember what else has J.J. Abrams done? He's done Mission Impossible 3. Alias. Lost. Did he do Cloverfield?
Yes.
I think he did Cloverfield.
He did Cloverfield. He only produced Cloverfield.
Okay. So, I mean, here's a guy who's known for, like...
Not even close.
Austin tries to throw the lettuce at the... Oh, now it's on the floor.
Oh, no.
You want me to get it?
Guinea pigs have to eat floor lettuce. I'm sure they'll send it back. Tell the chef he fucked up.
So, J.J. Abrams, who's known for building up decent mysteries, but not really known for his payoff.
Right. That box with a question mark on it is like, I brought to this TED Talk a metaphor for my career.
I'm never going to answer any questions whatsoever.
It's just a tiny little piece of paper that says they were in hell.
Wow. That's deep. So like Rian Johnson, like, okay, I guess the first one is... who are Ray's parents?
Who are Ray's parents?
Yeah.
Fucking no one.
Yeah, no one.
Some junkies.
Yeah.
And Ray knew this, and Kylo Ren knew this. They just didn't tell the audience.
They're junk traders, and they sold her for drinking money,
and
now they're in a pauper's grave.
What I'd like to know is, if you're that far gone, how's your kid like 5 years old before you need to sell her for money?
Yeah, they kept her around for a while. Like, we got to keep feeding this fucking kid. Oh,
all our food money is cutting into our drinking money.
Yeah, fuck.
J.J. Abrams.
Yeah, I put A.A. Brams by accident.
A.A. Brams.
Yeah. So I just wanted to see what else is J.J. Abrams.
And you look at his Wikipedia instead of his IMDb.
Yeah,
we'll lose our fucking funding, man.
IMDb, because okay, he did Star Trek, Morning Glory, Mission Impossible 3.
He did the Pallbearer?
Oh, did he do the pallbearer?
Yeah, producer.
Oh, producer. Yeah,
he produced the pallbearer. Was that the?
That's with like the guy from Friends.
Yeah. David Schwimmer. There we go.
Schwimmer. Okay.
How do we draw a blank on Schwimmer?
Mission Impossible 3, Star Trek Super 8, which is basically a ripoff of E.T., Star Trek Into Darkness, which is a ripoff of Wrath of Khan, Star Force: The Force Awakens, which is a ripoff of A New Hope, and now he's going to do Episode 9.
Which will be a ripoff of The Phantom Menace.
Yeah, oh my god. But that's the whole thing, is that Rian Johnson threw all these questions out the fucking, so that means...
He took a shit in the question mark box.
Doesn't matter what you get, it's going to be covered in shit. And that's the whole thing, is that I'm worried that by the time we get to Episode 9, J.J. Abrams is going to set up a whole new set of fucking questions that we're not going to get answered. Yeah. And Rian Johnson's going to go off and do his own fucking trilogy about porgs or whatever the fuck he's going to do it about. And and so, like, it's not going to end well. It's not going to end the way you think it is.
What if it's already been like written floor to ceiling? Because it's Disney. They've got an idea of where things should go. Maybe because they wanted Rian Johnson to come back for 9.
No. J.J. Abrams doing 9.
Well, no, they had someone before J.J. Abrams.
Oh yeah.
So there were plans for 9. I'd imagine they're bringing in J.J. mostly to doctor the script if needed and then direct. Hopefully, people at Disney already handled the story, so he can just come in the lens flares.
But I mean, it's because obviously they didn't have a direction for that.
For Last Jedi.
Yeah, I mean that's the whole thing. Is like you would think I would think that they would have, okay, this is what this movie's going to be. At least a roundabout idea. This is what this movie's going to be. This is what Episode 9 is going to be about. And Rian Johnson is like, all that shit we built up in Episode 7. Fuck you. It's Rey's parents. They're drunks and they're in a pauper's grave. Snoke is just some guy. They never say who Snoke is.
We could still learn about Snoke. There might be like a novel called Snoke, and it like tells the story of how he was
He's going to be Darth Plagueis for me. He's always going to be Darth Plagueis.
He's some
until told otherwise.
He's some junk dealer from Jakku, who sold his daughter for drinking water.
I mean, one thing I do have to say is between Episode 7 and Episode 8, when you see Snoke. I mean, obviously 8 and 7, he's more of a projection, so you don't see that much detail. But in that one, in 7, you see not much detail. When you get to 8, he looks like an old man. Yeah. Like you get his breath probably stinks. Like, he looks like I've been in old age homes.
Yeah. Like he's shit himself in that big throne he's sitting in.
Yeah, I mean, he looks like someone who let himself go. And then again, if you had the Force to take care of you, like you wouldn't have to worry about.
Like he barely stands up in the whole movie.
Yeah, and he kind of walks with a limp, and so you never get a chance to see his body. And it's kind of funny that
I don't want to see his body.
But I'm just saying, is there's
no Snoke nude scene.
That's why we really don't like the movie. There's no Snokes, but he doesn't. We never know his story. We don't know why he has the big gashes on his face. Why is he all deformed?
Well, he's the second Death Star.
Oh yeah, yeah. Someone had posted that picture where where one part wasn't, and the other part had a dent. And but so with that, I don't. To me, it's going to be Plagueis. Until told otherwise, it's going to be Plagueis the Wise coming back.
Is it super important who he is? Do we need to know for the story that they're telling?
Well, this looks like a guy he's an old man by the time we get to him.
Right.
So that means he's been around since at least the Empire.
Yeah. And
where was he? Here's a guy that has Palpatine-like powers. No one detected. He didn't work with anybody. He was sort of just hanging out in the shadows.
He was just hanging out in the shadows, man.
I don't like that. I don't want that. I want there to be some sort of connection with the other movies. And they did say Episode 9 is going to connect all three trilogies. Even though this one kind of did.
This one kind of felt more like they're trying to get us away from the other movie.
But he mentioned Sidious.
All right,
it was the Jedis, their legacy was hubris, and even at their highest power, they let themselves be destroyed by a Sith Lord, Darth Sidious or whatever.
Darth Sidious, played by Ian McDiarmid. Remember him? Winks at the camera.
Yes,
yeah. I said Sidious. We're gonna pause the movie for 5 minutes. You guys can wipe up the jizz. city jizz.
It's nice to know that that they're acknowledged prequels. I mean, as much as the prequels are garbage, that's all we had for a little while.
As much as one prequel was garbage, one kind of sucked, and one was pretty.
Yeah.
I don't like it when we lump the prequels and just say the prequels sucked. Like 1 sucked, 2 could have been a lot better, 3 was pretty damn good. 1 and 2 were completely unnecessary. 3 tells the whole story.
Well, and when they first announced the prequels, that's what I thought it was going to be. I thought the very beginning, like whatever episode 1 was going to be, I thought it was going to be, that's when we see Anakin turn into Darth Vader. The end of the Clone Wars, maybe even like have part 1 be about the Clone Wars, and then, then the betrayal or whatever, and, for whatever reason he thinks Obi-Wan betrayed him, flips to the dark side, and then 2 and 3 would be...
There's not an important plot point in those first 2 movies that isn't in some way nodded to or explained in the third one, as far as enjoying their movies.
Yeah, other than, ham-fisting him meeting Padme.
Right, but like, they're married at the start of 3. You get the dynamic.
Yeah,
they met. I don't need to see them meet. I didn't need to see Han meet Chewbacca. I feel like I'm fucking about to in a few months, but I don't need that. I can just go from their dynamic like, oh, okay, this is what they are to each other. That's a cool way to go into the movie.
I think you need a little bit of the courtship, because I think other than in the prequels, they never, in the prequels they say Jedis aren't allowed to have attachments. They're not allowed to get married. They're kind of like monks.
Right. But
so you kind of need the courtship where he's sort of he's being a little defiant.
Well, the Jedi we're focusing on doesn't give a shit about that rule, and if you drop it out of there, I don't feel like anything's lost with, it's like, you watch episode 3, he's obviously defiant. He's got reason enough to be pissed off at the Jedi and to want to guide. You don't need the extra, he's a real rebel, ironically, because he's about to deal with some actual rebels.
And so, I guess, they could have taken that, they could have answered all that in like one line, like, you're marrying her, the Jedis don't allow you to marry.
You shouldn't do that. Well,
we already married her.
They kind of did, though, because the whole movie, you're like, if you haven't watched 1 and 2, you're like, okay, yeah, they're together, and he goes to war, and that's what's going on. And then Obi-Wan's like, Anakin's the father, isn't he? Like, oh, this shit's a secret. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, obviously, this is a taboo relationship. And, they're like hiding in the shadows talking and stuff. It's like, hey, Anakin, your squeeze is over there. I want to go talk to her before the press gets here. But I feel like that bit of like, hey, he's not allowed to is at least illustrated. We're not talking about 8 anymore. We're talking about 3. You're listening to Two Strangers, Revenge of the Sith.
Well, because bringing it back to the fact that at least they addressed the prequels. It's not it didn't happen, retcon or whatever the case. All right, so what are we got. Nobody cares who Snoke is.
I don't give a shit.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who Rey's parents were.
He died cool. Any death where you're in like 4 pieces is pretty neat.
and like that whole like him cut in half. That just takes me way back to like the early 2000s, where every movie had somebody get like every like horror movie had people getting cut in pieces, like Resident Evil or Ghost Ship.
That being said, though, I haven't seen someone cut in half in kind of a while in a movie. That was pretty sweet.
And then plus it's little Darth Maul, like right in the middle. He got cut right in the middle.
Yeah, well,
Darth Maul survived. Darth Maul was like a
Darth Maul got cut like below the belly button. Snoke got cut like through the lungs.
Oh, okay.
So,
but I did like the special effects. They made him look like an old man.
It really, really good motion capture performance where like it could have just been a person. Like he looks fucked up, but it was spot on.
But is it weird that it looks like Andy Serkis? Like Andy Serkis, it looks like Gollum.
I didn't think it looked like Andy Serkis.
But I mean, like his performance. The performance of Gollum from Lord of the Rings and the performance of Snoke, I kind of see the similarities.
I didn't see that the whole time.
Am I projecting?
I was thinking the whole time you could have just put makeup on Peter Capaldi and had your Snoke.
Yeah.
That's what I thought the entire time. So I wasn't looking for Gollum-y mannerisms.
Well, but I'm just saying I'm just saying maybe it's part of his acting style, like that was captured very well, but he kind of looked Gollum-y, but not in a bad way. If that makes it easy.
Gollum-y doesn't make sense as a word, so I'm gonna just roll with your point.
Gollum-ish.
I get when I go see it a third time on New Year's, I'll look for the Gollum-y part.
Yeah, just sort of the same way it kind of comes through even when he plays Caesar. Yeah,
well, he's walking around in all fours
movies. But it's just sort of I don't know. But I mean that in a good way. Yeah. Like his performance comes through.
It's Gollum-y in a good way.
Yeah, it's not just it's motion capture, but they could have easily filled in a lot of the gaps. You could see his performance.
It's got those Andy Serkis physical hallmarks.
Yeah,
I guess I get that. Like if you didn't tell me who played it, you'd be like, hey, guess who played Snoke? I'd be like, but it's probably Andy Serkis. Because it was a major character and it was motion capture.
he's cornering the market on
right. It's like I'm pretty sure that Andy Serkis played Snoke, the Porgs, and Maz Kanata.
And then
Lupita was busy.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Maz Kanata. I mean, not that that's a big huge thing, but Maz Kanata was pivotal in episode 7. Here she's in it for like literally a fucking FaceTime phone call.
It's cool though because she like moves the plot along, and it kind of reminds you like, oh hey, remember Maz Kanata? She's still around. She wasn't just a one-off character. You'll probably see more of her next time around. It's just we're not in a position to really have her in the movie right now.
But she's involved in some sort of battle.
Yeah.
Is that like a DLC for Battlefront or something like that?
No, I believe that battle was a stab at the prequels. Because she says it's a union dispute. You don't want to know about it.
Oh.
Because the union disputes in Phantom Menace, we didn't give a shit about.
Oh.
We have a screeching half-hour halt on Coruscant of, this is our committee on why the Trade Federation should be allowed to tax you. And like,
the banking clans will support your treaty.
Yeah. Oh, yes, the ETs are down here. Cool. And like, can we get back to the lightsaber fights? Not a single interesting thing happens on Coruscant, up to and including the Jedi saying, no, Anakin, we don't want you. You're going to hear that a lot, but eventually you'll kill every fucking one of us. So I think that was Maz Kanata's role, was move the plot along because we need to get to Kanto Bite and make fun of the prequels because that's what we're doing these days.
Oh, I thought it was like a sideways sequel. Not sequel. Like it was sort of like, hi, I'm playing this DLC from the game Battlefront 2 out now for PlayStation 4. You know,
I don't know. But we can look later and see if there's that sort of DLC.
Maz Kanata has a DLC on. I mean,
if she's playable, dude, I'm dropping $60 tonight.
You know,
I've been putting off that game because of all the loot box bullshit. But like, if I can be Maz Kanata like that's worth overdrawing my account if I have to.
I
telling me Lupita's playable, I'm in.
Yeah, and this whole thing is like, here you go, you got because you reminded me, she's an award-winning actress.
Oh yeah.
And we have her in a movie doing FaceTime for 3 minutes, not even.
I'm pretty sure it's just like we can jump around. If you haven't seen the movie and you're listening to this, I'm sorry that you did this to yourself.
That's spoilers, but
well, like it's not even like here's our step-by-step kind of recap and impressions.
Fuck the step-by-step,
jumping all the fuck over. With how it ended, with its we've planted the seed of the rebellion, and here's things are gonna get better now because we're out in the world. Maz Kanata can come back and be an integral character again. Mm-hmm. The same reason people were like pissed off because Lando's not in this movie. Like, watch the movie before you get pissed off about that, because there's no fucking room for Lando in her. If Billy D comes on set, it's because they need to explode somebody.
But if Billy D was in Kanto Bite, even if they just brushed past him, hey there, watch where you're walking, or something like.
Yeah, like the Finn and Rose are getting arrested. I was like, what have we here? Looks like you need a smooth Colt 45.
Everybody on this planet wears capes. Because the security guards, police, whatever wore cape.
I'm thinking of calling this place Capo Bite. I own it, by the way.
But yeah, so I mean,
that could have been cool.
They could have had Lando. They could have had.
All right, but what would
he's going to be dead by episode 9.
Well, like, would it have felt earned if they just plopped him in there to be like, hey, look, guys, Lando, right? That would have been silly.
Well, they did that in fucking Rogue One with like Pigface and you'll be dead. Those guys from the cantina.
All right, well, let me backtrack here though. You liked episode 8, right?
Yes.
You didn't like Rogue One.
Yeah.
Follow my lead here then. So it wouldn't have felt earned like that Dr. Gonzo and the butt face.
Yeah.
I don't know their actual names. I'm sure it's super important because they got angry at the fucking martyrs of the rebellion, and then one got his arm cut off.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, if it's talking fan service, I'm surprised that they didn't give us that kind of service.
Well, I doubt Billy D's dead in 2 years. He'll make it. He'll hang on because he has to. But if you want to put Lando in something, put it in what has to be a broader scope movie than Last Jedi was. Because Last Jedi was Fury Road in space.
Yeah, it really was. Yeah, the whole movie takes place over
like 20
Like a
hours.
weekend?
Yes, it's
Weekend at
Luke's.
Snoke's. That's a new spinoff.
Weekend at Snoke's.
Grandmaster.
They're just carrying the top half.
And they just drape.
The Supreme Leader is dead. The Supreme Leader's dead? Oh, Mom's gonna be so pissed. Just put sunglasses on, they're just
I'm
carrying
walking on sunshine.
carrying the top
And it's Hux and Ren is sort of in a way like Ren is using the Force to make the Snoke wave. He says hi.
Oh, Supreme
the Supreme
Leader
Leader waved at me.
Oh my god!
Yeah, that's why you have to let us pass this checkpoint. What are you doing with the Supreme Leader? No, he's been drinking. He's got into the Romulan ale.
We spent the weekend on Kanto Bite. He got a little crazy with it. We're just trying to get him back. Romulans?
The reason I kind of said the Romulan is I think this is the first time, and I wonder if the people out there would correct us. It's the first time we see someone drunk in a Star Wars movie. When they're on Kanto Bite, there's that little leprechaun-looking dude who shoves coins into the
Who I believe is played by Warwick Davis for like the motion picture form. He was obviously a computer animated character.
Oh, okay.
Warwick Davis plays somebody in this movie. I would imagine it's him because he's the shortest person in time sizes.
Yeah, well, no, but that makes sense to have a little person play a little person.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Warwick Davis did the motion.
And Lupita Nyong'o's an orange-faced lemon woman. Lemon-faced.
Or a lemon-faced orange woman. One of the two. With the butthole eyes.
With the butthole eyes. Yeah, but so that's the first time, I think that's the first time, it was sad that we're having this conversation at work, is that the first time we've seen someone drunk in a Star Wars movie.
Right? I mean,
they mentioned death sticks, which I'm assuming are some sort of drugs.
And like, people drink in bars. I'd imagine. And
that's right.
So
the cantina.
Right, so you got like the terrifying Halloween mask, big bulbous bald head guy like laughing and stuff in the Mos Eisley cantina, and like, he's probably drunk.
Yeah.
He looks like he's been in there a little while.
Everybody's been in there a little while.
Whoever's making requests for Figuring Dan and the Modal Nose is drunk as shit, because they're like, you play that same song on fucking repeat and I'll keep throwing money at you. I want 11 What's New Pussycats. And then put one It's Not Unusual in the middle so people think it's over. And then, like 6 more What's New Pussycats. It'll be hilarious.
I got married to this song.
What's New Pussycat?
All right, so let me see. All right, so once again, we are skipping around. I feel... Okay, in the movie, Leia gets... Well, at first, we all kind of assume that she gets killed.
Yeah, we get to watch Carrie Fisher get sucked off.
Not for the first time. Do you follow the good book? So she goes off into space, and all of us, I think everyone who saw this movie said, "Oh, that's how she goes."
Yeah. And it's like, holy shit, bold move. Everyone else hates it, but I love it.
Then all of a sudden she's in space, very Star-Lord and Guardians of the Galaxy. Floating in space, uses the Force, and then okay. Well, that's where I kind of get the fact that she's using the Force, but then when it goes to like her hand outreached and she's like flying towards the door, like very Mary Poppins.
Well, and people keep making the Mary Poppins joke. On a second viewing, I'm like, how else was she supposed to look when this was happening? From what I can tell, she's using the Force and pulling herself toward the ship, or pulling the ship toward her.
But I mean, even if her body was still, I don't know, prone or whatever, like if her body was still like stiff as a board, but her hand was like, what the fuck is going on? And then you kind of see her just like moving towards I mean, I guess it's more romantic to have her look, well, romantic in the, the whimsical way.
Yeah, is Leia trying to fuck me? She's flying back to the ship. This is very romantic.
But, it's very idealized to have her kind of like make her way that she's standing and floating through the door.
In a lot of ways, this was a really idealized movie. It was more showy and poetic than the others, which was, hey, I'm going to say this information because everything else in this felt a little more curated.
Yeah, and so we see Princess Leia. At first, we all thought she died.
I was ready to applaud it.
Yeah, because it's like we're like, okay, we have to say goodbye to Carrie Fisher somehow in this movie.
And that's the way to do it. If it's toward the end of the movie and it's just, some sad situation happens, everyone's like, oh, it's a real bummer, but something. But that happens, and by the time you're like, oh shit, Leia's dead, you're on to the next part of the movie, and it's like, okay, I guess that's how we're doing this, and it's never going to stop for us. It's going.
And let's not overlook that it was moments after where Kylo Ren was going to shoot her. Yeah. They pretty much kept that whole scene in the trailer where he's contemplating shooting. Yeah. He doesn't, but his fucking wingmen do. Yeah. And his wingmen just say, I don't know why he's not firing, but we are.
And the look on his face when that happens is like, oh fuck, but like, yeah.
That's right. I was gonna kill my mother a second ago.
Right. Like, if that's an emotion, it's oh fuck, but yeah. Like, oh, I wish that didn't happen, but like, that's why we're here.
Yeah. I told him to get my ship.
Like I said, we're gonna blow up the bridge where my mom is, and then I didn't do it, and they did. That's their fucking job. I can't be upset about this.
Nobody's getting choked today.
I'm gonna go blow a lot of shit up though. Yeah, it's like, all right, guys, here's the deal. We're gonna go kill my mom. I'm a pussy, so take over if I can't do it. That's the deleted conversation. So we got to keep this PG-13 there.
But I mean, I'm very surprised that usually stuff the commercials obviously had some misdirection where she's like, I need someone to show me my place in this, and then it cuts to Kylo Ren holding his hand out. This pretty much kept beat for beat.
Yeah, but even then she kind of went to him for like, what should I do? After Luke was like, you gotta get off my island or I'm gonna hit you with a flag.
And I'll, just real quick, when he's fishing. Yes. After does he squeeze the milk first, then goes fishing?
He drinks tit juice, then he fishes.
Which is to get myself up to date, I rewatched Force Awakens last night, and I watched it with the descriptive audio. Because there's English, Spanish, French, whatever, and there's descriptive audio. And I please, if you have anyone out there, if you have The Force Awakens on Blu-ray, listen to the descriptive audio version because it's a gentleman with a nice British accent. Words appear across the screen. The Force Awakens, and he reads the whole thing. The words disappear as if to go on to infinity. It's fucking awesome. If you get a chance, maybe I don't know. Maybe I'll cut that into the show or something like that. I don't know.
Light shimmers over a metallic logo of a word forming an arch over the letters LTD, Lucasfilm Limited. Words appear, a long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away. The words Star Wars appear in outer space, outlined in a curvy font. The title rapidly shrinks away into the dark void. A slanted message crawls after it. Episode 7, The Force Awakens. Luke Skywalker has vanished. In his absence, the sinister First Order has risen from the ashes of the Empire, and will not rest until Skywalker, the last Jedi, has been destroyed. With the support of the Republic, General Leia Organa leads a brave resistance. She is desperate to find her brother Luke, and gain his help in restoring peace and justice to the galaxy. Leia has sent her most daring pilot on a secret mission to Jakku, where an old ally has discovered a clue to Luke's whereabouts. Growing ever smaller, the words continue to crawl away toward infinity. The tiny, illegible shapes of the last few words finally disappear completely into the vastness of space.
But if you get a chance, watch it with the descriptive audio, because I guess it's hard of visually impaired and stuff like that.
Hard of seeing,
hard of sight.
Blind isn't offensive. You can say blind.
Well, no, I'm just saying. But some people don't. Some people can't see well.
I'm not blind. I'm differently visual. I'm visually challenged.
Which it would be great if visually disabled people listen to the podcast. I don't know how you found us, but thank you for listening.
Yeah, that'd be a good medium, imagine.
Yeah, just load up on podcast.
Yeah, that's how you're getting your story. There's not a lot of imagination. It's just
now. In that movie, we see an alien's ass. Because when Finn is going to drink water when he's on the planet, and there's that big rhino pig thing. Yeah. So we do see a pig's ass. Now in this movie, we see an animal's tits. Yeah.
The only place left to go is Dicks. Yeah. It's gonna be episode 9, Revenge of the Dicks.
Revenge of the Dicks. And it's like those. It's like, but those aliens looked like.
I may be wrong here, but I'm pretty sure the whatever kind of beasts of burden are pulling in Anakin's pod racer in episode 1. I think that's one of those. Oh. Because they've got that that
beaky nose.
That Rick and Morty flop face.
Oh, okay. Because I mean, it looks straight up like tits.
Well,
like, they could have given us more teats looking, not tits.
It was.
They're just four tits.
Some supple breasts, and you know when Rey wasn't on the island, Luke would go down there once in a while. He'd be like, nah.
You know, he straight up drinks the milk. But okay, but I digress.
In like a Got Green Milk commercial too.
And he drinks it and he gives it. He kind of growls.
but not like a get away from me, I'm an animal growl, but like in a that's good drinking kind of growl.
That's
hey,
good.
You want in on some of this curd?
You want some because Han says moof milker.
Moof milker.
Is that a moof? He goes, some moof milker put a compressor on my.
I'm gonna Google moof real quick.
I guarantee you moof is a... Well, I wonder if it's a moof, but he does say moof.
Star Wars moof, because I feel like moof is some fetish thing.
But, okay, so when Luke goes to go fishing, he spears a fish. He swings across on a pole.
Yeah. Well, he pole vaults.
Yeah. Which, for some reason...
It's the thing that Finn was drinking water with.
Ah, the pig rhino. And you know what it is? Remember, like, in the original trilogies, Luke liked to swing across from, like, there's like 2 or 3 times where he swings across a gap. So I wonder if that was some sort of homage to the Luke swinging across things.
It could be.
It was just like, I caught that vibe. I'm like, oh, that's how he swings.
Back to the seat cow quick. Do you think that might be a Nerf?
A Nerf herder?
Yeah, because there's Nerf herders. Like, I googled Star Wars Nerf, and it's just Nerf guns.
And a Nerf herder would be the person...
Wow, so Luke's kind of like a Nerf herder.
Green titty drinker. Or green...
No. A Nerf is like a bison.
Oh, okay.
This is going to be like fucking around on Wikipedia all day.
So, alright, so then he... Alright, so... I digressed one too many times. Alright, so Leia's incapacitated. So the chain of command goes...
Oh, fucking here we go.
Here we go. The chain of command goes to this... okay, you know what? Before I get into this argument, we'll be back with more dick and fart jokes.
This episode of Two Strangers, One Podcast is brought to you by Comics Etc. 1115 East Main and North Goodman at the Hungerford Building, door number 8. Find out more information at comicsetc.biz or like them on Facebook at facebook.com/comicsetc1.
Did you ever see a film at such a young age it left you traumatized with cinematic wounds? Necrophilia. It's a dead issue, man. Don't push it. Cinema Psyops is a weekly podcast documenting an ongoing experiment on the mind of an unwilling test subject.
No one should have to watch this movie.
Oh, no one should have to watch this?
No one should have to watch this movie.
Surprisingly, it's not a topic that a lot of people really want to tackle.
I'm shocked, prudes.
I know, really.
Right?
It's the next sexual frontier that no one wants to explore.
I am, in the most sincerest of senses, disappointed in you.
It takes a powerful goddess like Connie, jam her arm down the monster's throat and kill it. Oh, I'm still tripping out over that. Even as a kid, I was like, I gotta find a girl like that. Every week, I get a new look of disappointment that I never thought I could get out of it.
Unimaginable. At 12 years old, you should not be watching this movie.
Obviously.
At 13, you should not be. 14, you shouldn't be. I'm not entirely sure even 17-year-olds should be watching this.
Just because you're offended by something doesn't mean that you have the right to demand that it doesn't exist. Watching this film again, I had all of this like little nerd glee with everything that kept
little
popping
history
up.
all popping up
absolutely.
at you.
So I totally loved this film.
Hey, I know why you couldn't see that. It's because your brain's warped from watching this shit at 12 years old.
Yeah, this is a rough movie. I told you ahead of time when we were getting ready to do it that it was going to be a rough
How could you watch
one.
this shit at 12?
Because physical wounds heal, cinematic ones don't. Listen to Cinema Psyops.
Click and Hit, enhancing the experience for all recreational smokers. Click and Hit is a one-handed portable vaporizer. This smoking pipe has a compact 4-stage design, complete with a built-in, windproof, butane refillable torch lighter. The large burn chamber holds your stash of legal herb or pipe tobacco. Click the button to ignite and inhale as usual. When you are done, put it back in your pocket for later. Smoke anytime with the touch of a button. No more carrying around grinders and tins. You can leave the pipe, rolling papers, and even your lighter at home. The Click and Hit cordless vaporizer is no bigger than a normal cigar, making it the world's smallest and most discreet vaporizer. It's perfect for use in small places or shared rooms. It's efficient, getting 5 to 8 draws from your packed chamber. It's affordable at just $19.95 each. Buy 3 and the shipping is free. Buy 4 and you get the 5th one free. Visit www.click-n-hit.com. That's clickandhit.com. And now for listeners of Two Strangers One Podcast, you can use promo code STRANGERS and receive 10% off your purchase at clickandhit.com. That's promo code STRANGERS for 10% off your purchase.
And we're back. Okay, so as I was saying right before the break, okay, Leia gets incapacitated. They follow the chain of command and they introduce is not a fucking familiar face, because in the attack, Admiral Akbar dies, which unfortunately it gets
with no fucking fanfare.
No fanfare.
Just so, discount Nurse Jackie says, "Oh yeah, Akbar died. All of our leadership died. Snap Wexley had other things he was doing."
Hey, all of a sudden, so Akbar dies with no fucking ceremony or anything like that.
He should have got
once again Ryan Johnson. Yeah, Ryan Johnson killing parts of our childhood.
This is the first of many.
Akbar dies. That's right. He's the first. He's like the first. Is he the first character to die in this movie?
As far
he
as
dies before Snoke and Luke.
As far as people were familiar with, yeah, but Paige Tycho and.
Oh yeah, that's right, Paige. We'll get to Paige in a little bit.
Poe Dameron's wing woman and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Well, no. Actually, she dies immediately after it. She's about to scramble with Kylo Bliss.
Ah. Oh yeah. The wing woman. But yeah.
Rest in peace, wing woman, whose name I don't know after 2 viewings, so you're not that important.
Well, I can't believe you got Paige Tycho? Yeah. That's her last name, Tycho?
Yeah, it's Rosa's sister.
Well, I know it's Rosa's sister, which we'll get to later.
Paige Tycho.
Where the fuck did you get Tycho from, though? You had to Google that. It's not in the movie.
Well, I didn't Google it, but I read enough Star Wars shit to be like, oh, Rosa's name is Rose Tycho, or go Tico. I say Tycho. Nobody says it in the movie, so I'll pronounce however the fuck I want.
Ah, okay. Yeah. And there it is. Okay, because I had up a screen up on my computer, the cast of Jedi. Okay, go Tycho. I think it's Tico, because Tycho would be.
Do you want to call her quick and ask her how to pronounce it?
I'm pretty sure she's just not doing anything. All right, so Laura Dern's character doesn't have the name here.
Do you want me to tell you?
Vice Admiral Holdo?
Holdo. What's her first name, though?
Holdor. Hold the door. Hodor. No. Vice Admiral Holdo.
Yes, Vice Admiral
I
Holdo.
don't know her first name.
I don't either.
Oh, okay. She takes command. We never saw her in Episode 7. Who we do see in Episode 7. And who we've seen since the original trilogy.
Right.
And who we do see at the end of the movie and is still alive.
All right.
Numb.
So named because he says Numb.
Every time it's like Numb. What do you think of
That's not even how you sound it.
But yeah, all
right. Consider this.
Numb was part of the second attack, the attack on the second Death Star.
All right.
Yes, he was just a co-pilot, but he was part of rebellion history. At the very least, okay, we got General Leia Organa Solo, and we got Vice Admiral Holdo. What the fuck is Numb? And he's in Episode 7. He gets into an X-wing.
I know. So he's just a fucking pilot. He's obviously not an officer. They didn't promote him after the Star
why the
days.
Fuck did they not promote him? Because he should. Numb needs at the very least an honorary promotion.
Right.
Because for him to just be standing around with the rest of the fucking plebes, it
all
just.
Right. Answer me this.
He should have been the next in charge. He should have been the next in line.
Okay, look here. All right. Return of the Jedi. We see him for the first time. He's just fucking Lando's buddy who's like, oh yeah, I'll come blow that up with you. He sits around and Chewie's the Falcon while Lando does all the work. Then the next time we see him, he's just getting in an X-Wing, which means in 30 years he was like maybe at the Battle of Jakku, and now he's like, oh yeah, I'll help out, I'm still here. I doubt anyone was like, hey, you were in an X-Wing, you're next in line if these 3 people die.
Poe Dameron was like a fucking... Poe Dameron wasn't even cum in fucking Return of the Jedi.
Right.
Yet he's a commander.
Yeah.
And Numb is still just a fucking... It's a disservice to Numb.
How long did it take Luke Skywalker to make commander?
Didn't happen real quick.
3 years.
Yeah, so All this time, those people have been ignoring Nine Numb.
You go on your rant. I'm going to look up Holdo quick.
I'm just saying is that Nine Numb... And they go, oh, she's at such and such battle. Is that the Vice Admiral Holdo from whatever battle? Some battle we've never seen? Nine Numb was at the fucking destruction of the second Death Star. And the what, if I remember correctly, wasn't the Millennium Falcon like coming in to save the day? I mean, I'm just saying is that he's a familiar face. It would have been interesting to have him like lead, even though we don't know what the fuck he's saying. I think it would have been interesting to have him. They're doing him a disservice by not promoting him. He should have had like how Bill Cosby is like Dr. Bill Cosby. He should have been Commander Nine Numb.
But like honorary Commander 9.
Honorary.
Which still is outranked by Vice Admiral, dude. Vice Admiral, that's second in command out of anyone.
It's just... I feel that he got looked over for promotion. And I say that Rebellion is... They're Homo sapien... They're speciesists. And everyone in charge... Oh yeah, Admiral Akbar. Okay, yeah, he's the fucking token alien
right,
in charge.
And it's because he sold them all those Mon Calamari cruisers. I looked up Holdo. I've got nothing to support her. It's just like, at some point before 34 ABY, she joined the Resistance. So,
and she's not even dressed for the occasion. She's going out a fucking night on. Look like she's going to Kanto Bite. She's dressed like.
What the fuck was Leia wearing when the thing exploded?
True.
It wasn't fatigues and shit. It was a dress. It was like, well, I'm dressed to travel. So. It's like when you wear a suit on an airplane.
Look, Nine Numb was ready to go. He had on his. Did he have his?
He had on the one outfit he ever fucking wears. Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Like, hey, we'd love to promote you, but you smell like shit because you haven't washed that jumpsuit in 34 years.
Wash under those jowls.
Oh god.
All right, so let's go.
What are our orders, sir? Yeah, you're gonna need to learn common. You need to learn basic, or we can't fucking do anything. We don't have time for 3PO to give us the gist.
Everyone understands exactly. That would have been fucking awesome.
That would have taken
to have him talk and to have C-3PO kind of having to be his, because they don't know what, like, he maybe in the 30 years he still hasn't learned Obrish or English or basic or whatever.
Obrish is the alphabet.
And have C-3PO kind of being like his mouthpiece. That would have been fucking hilarious. You know,
this wasn't a hilarious movie, and I don't see Nien Nunb, Jowl Boy. I don't see him making the tough calls that Holdo needed to for us to have the movie weekend. Nien Nunb being like, all right, well, Poe, what do you think we should do? Oh, we should do this. Okay, the rebellion's dead.
Nien Nunb is the last Jedi.
What I don't like is that Holdo didn't tell anyone the plan, and that got most of the Resistance killed.
Yeah, that was the a lot of I've been since the movie came out. I've listened to a lot of podcasts, and a lot of people say had Holdo just told Poe Dameron,
we're gonna cloak the transports when we get to Crate, and one person's gonna stay behind with the flagship while everyone else lands. Poe would have been like, oh. No, that's a good idea. We'll do that. Yeah. But instead, he's like, all right, well, I got to figure out a different plan for what she's doing.
Basically, commit mutiny because this bitch is.
And then that mutiny he commits enables Finn, Rose, and DJ. Is that? I think
DJ is the slicer.
Yeah, and DJ to get on board that super duper Star Destroyer and fuck the whole plan up.
Well, did they fuck it up?
Yeah, because
he sells them out. He says that
I made a deal. You made a deal with what? And he gave the information saying, "Hey, the rebels are cloaking their transport ships and going to Crate." Had he not been there, the First Order wouldn't have known. They would have fallen for the shit, and Holdo would have had them way past the Crate system, and they would have all landed safely.
Yeah, because she could have just jetted out of there, and they would have been lost. Like they would have been like, "Where the fuck did she go?" And oh no! Wait, no.
Well, they would have.
Okay, they would have tracked her.
They would have tracked her.
She would have went. She would have went like 6 minutes. They said there was a window of 6 minutes, so she would have went 6 minutes. They would have showed up, found her.
Well, no.
Shot in the empty. Well, not empty, but just her.
The 6 minute window was how long they could get the tracker down for, so that they could. 30 seconds roughly was we finished hyperspace. First Order jumps right.
Was the plan? But her plan was to get them away from Crate.
The plan was basically. Get everyone on the transports except for one person flying the ship. Sneak everyone onto Crate while they're not looking for the transport ships. Have them keep following the Radis, the flagship, away from there. And then by the time they realize what happened, they won't have any fucking clue where the transport ships went.
Okay, so
So Vice Admiral Holdo killed Luke Skywalker as well.
See, even more reason why they shouldn't have promoted her.
Right.
See, if had Numb taken care of it, he was a Numb.
Well, no, had he taken care of it, he would have deferred to Poe, being like, I'm not fucking ready for this. You take over. You're the ranking officer. Poe's like, all right,
this is
we're going with Finn and Rose's plan, and then fucking everybody dies.
Now, because they had the tracker device. The tracker device looked like a fucking
a flux capacitor.
Looks like a flux capacitor. I just wanted to bring that up because it was like
true.
It's a giant flux capacitor.
That's true. Next point.
Okay. All right. When we do get into the hangar of the First Order ship, when BB-8 reveals that it's BB-8's inside the chicken walker.
Yeah.
And so BB-8 is holding like a command, like not holding some sort of module, and it's like zapping the module or poking the module with its.
Yeah, it's like
And it's Pickle Rick. It's Pickle Ricking the chicken walker.
Yeah.
You know,
BB-8 Pickle Ricks the chicken walker. Star Wars Episode 8. Pickle Rick and Walker.
Because Pickle Rick and Walker. Because it's a chicken walker. The ATST, is that what they call? No, what is that? What they call the chicken walker? What are the chicken walkers?
In Return of the Jedi, they're ATSTs. I would imagine we could call them ATSTs, and only the fanboyest of fanboys. This one is called an ATST-4.
Oh, okay, yeah, because it's smaller. They look smaller than the regular ATSTs.
Or maybe BB-8 just got bigger while it was in there.
And I love how magically because I looked like it was still like the top parts were still connected, like it was charging or something. Right. But like BB-8 got the chicken walker to walk and rip the fucking whole. But then again, I guess, and they did have in the TIE fighters in the first one, the TIE fighter like lanyarded by the gas thing or whatever.
Yeah. Just snapping around like, oh whoops, we forgot to take the boot off.
So but I seeing BB-8 hitting that little thing, I was like, oh, it's like he's doing Pickle Rick. He's getting the chicken walker to do Pickle Rick. Okay. But then once again, my notes are all over the place. They go to Kanto Bite and they come across the man-faced fox horse.
Man-faced fox horses.
Yeah.
The fathiers, if you don't want to say man-faced fox horses all the time. I was wondering what that was. It looks like it says, my filled foxholes.
My handwriting is horrible.
My filled foxholes.
Yeah, and not to just steal this from Kevin Smith, but okay, you have a planet, they have racing. He had said he thought it should have been Tauntauns. I thought, okay, we have a racing planet, why not have it be Pod Racer? Where it would kind of be like a callback to the first trilogy.
That'd be a huge fucking track, though.
Well, I mean, isn't it supposed to be a whole planet as a casino?
No.
Or is it just that one little area of the planet?
That one rich part of the planet, it's like, hey, here's one beautiful vista, or is it going to buy a whole fucking planet for it? Also, something that bugged me. They landed on the day side of the planet, and it was nighttime when they got there. Minor problem. It also happens in Return of the Jedi.
Oh, okay.
When they're approaching the second Death Star, it's night on the side of the planet where the Death Star is, but you cut down to the shield generator, and it's... I think they're just like, what looks coolest for this? They're going down to the day part of the planet of Kanto Bite, and they land.
Oh, okay. But once again, in a world, in a universe where we've established racing, and okay, not that we established Tauntaun racing, but why do they have to give us some brand new fucking man-faced fox horses?
Well,
other than just the emotive.
Well, because it's a rich warmonger, war profiteer casino town, so they're doing horse racing in bed. They're not doing NASCAR.
Yeah, but I mean, what if it was Tauntauns? They could have been torturing Tauntauns.
Does it have to be Tauntauns?
Because Tauntauns are already existing animals in this fucking universe, as opposed to introducing a brand new fucking species.
Right, but they're like, I would imagine, native to Hoth. There's not enough life on this rock to fill a space cruiser, as Han says. So like, getting Tauntauns,
even more of a reason.
Well, no,
we only keep them in the fridge.
Right.
When we're keeping them, we make them race in the heat and they die.
There's your problem.
More of a reason to show like these people are pricks, that they're like torturing these fucking animals for their entertainment.
They're not torturing them to be like, yes, I love torturing animals. They're like, hey, when we torture these ones, they put on a good show.
I just like
they're taking bets on racing because it's dignified. It's like, all right, I bet this Tauntaun dies of heat stroke before that one. I'm going to disagree. I say the fathiers are the right thing to have racing there because it calls back to horse racing.
Yeah.
I'd call that the most Earth-like planet in the whole series so far.
Yeah.
As far as like customs and
Yeah,
because there's like cops being like, you're under arrest for a parking violation. So they said that in a Star Wars movie. They also said ass.
Yeah, that big ass door.
Yeah, that threw me for a little bit. I didn't even notice it the first time through, and then it's like, I hope that big ass door holds. Like, Poe Dameron just said ass. Poe said a potty word in Star Wars. I'm just waiting for the next one. I was like, I'm going to punch fuck Kylo Ren.
And for people who may not know this, in every movie somebody says,
I have a bad feeling about this.
Which
in this one,
alleged that it's said by BB-8 in the very beginning. Because in the very beginning he beeps, and then Poe Dameron goes,
happy beeps.
Happy beeps, you know. So I guess technically it has technically been said in every movie.
I'm calling bullshit.
And then
no lightsaber fight.
In this movie, there's no lightsaber fight. I mean, it kind of goes toward. I mean, it definitely points towards what happens at the end of the movie. But you know, there's people like, oh, you know, watching it a second time, like, oh shit, there was no. I mean, lightsabers were out.
Yeah,
lightsabers were used for fighting.
Yeah. But there's no point where
two lightsabers
connect and there's combat. And in the Rashomon edition of fucking Kylo Ren's origin story, where it's like, oh, here's how it happened, no, here's how it happened, no, here's how it happened. Lightsabers clash twice, but it's not a fight.
Oh,
it's a, don't kill me, and then the hut explodes.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh, hey, they're plowing finally.
Oh, okay. Then, okay, so when we
I
have...
hope.
I hope. And then your neighbors died.
It used to be a retirement community. It really shocked me.
But, like, okay, so, because there was a part, like, where technically Rey and Luke fight, but Rey has her staff, and Luke pulls a fucking stick off the top of a building or whatever.
Flag fight.
So yeah, there are no. So the two things, and you mentioned that there's no one says I have a bad feeling about this, and there's no lightsaber clashes. I'm still of the belief, and once again, until told otherwise, Snoke is going to be Darth Plagueis in my mind, and until otherwise told, a Praetorian Guard in my mind, these are Snoke's red armored soldiers, which sort of look like the Crimson Guard from the original trilogy. I'm saying those were the Knights of Ren.
I'm saying they're not.
We see the Knights of Ren in Episode 7 in Rey's flash.
Yeah, and they have lightsabers.
And these guys kind of had lightsabers. They had
vibroblades.
Okay, he said, okay, if for you to be a Praetorian Guard, you can't use your lightsaber. You have to be proficient in some other weapon.
Why didn't they use the Force at all during the fight? They just had their martial weapon proficient. They're fighters with a 20 intelligence. They're not wizards.
True. Okay. Point taken. All right.
So cross that off your list.
So we
physically remove it. That's right. Fuckface.
So, but I mean, and once again, you know, not that Rian Johnson didn't tell us, but
where the fuck are the Knights of Ren?
Yeah, we're the Knights of Ren. They were there during a major deal. What happened to them? Maybe we'll find out in Episode 9.
I
hope we fucking.
I would imagine they're gonna be like Episode 9. We're gonna open up on a lot of new Jedi, and then they have to take out the Knights of Ren instead of it being the build-up to Anakin versus ObiWan or Luke versus Darth Vader. It's going to be the build-up to all the new apprentices versus the Knights of Ren.
Now that Kylo Ren is technically one in charge,
I'm hoping for
calls up his homeboys.
I'm hoping for a 10-year time jump here, where the Resistance has grown, the First Order has spread, and Rey has got a few students up to a point where they can fight.
Now, here's what I'm saying. Because now, in the whole bit of the movie with Rey and Luke is Rey's like, we need Luke Skywalker to be part of the rebellion, and I think Luke Skywalker does that. We just haven't seen it. When you said the time jump, the same way the movie ends with the kids like saying like, "Oh, it's Luke Skywalker."
Lucas Skywalker.
Lucas Skywalker.
Who's Dijo Jabba the Hutt? Yeah.
So
that's exactly what they said.
His last act is being Skywalker legend.
Yeah.
So that when they weren't getting word back from the Outer Rim, the Outer Rim's going to hear, holy shit, Luke Skywalker showed up and died for the Republic.
No, they're going to hear Luke Skywalker showed up, took a barrage of cannon fire, survived getting sliced in half and stabbed, and then just fucking disappeared. All to save the Resistance. Luke Skywalker can do that. They can win this war.
So we just haven't seen it.
Right.
You know, they just haven't shown us yet that he is Luke Skywalker legend.
Yeah, even people in the First Order are going to be like, we shot everything we had at him and he walked out of the fucking cloud. We can't win this war. We need to switch sides.
Yeah, Kylo Ren's not going to tell him what happened. No, he's force project. Like, yeah, right, okay.
And even if he does say that, and everyone's like, "Oh yeah, well, can you do that?"
So Kylo Ren calls up his homeboys.
Kevin, Turtle, the Geese.
Drama. You know, he calls up his entourage. and if they show up, so then it would be, I mean, you know, he would be like, he could have, you know, each side has kind of started fortifying themselves. He has the Knights of Ren, Resistance starts.
The new Jedi Order.
Wow.
It's going to be sweet.
And then, I mean, and it's super obvious that although Luke Skywalker dies in this movie, he's going to be back in then Episode 9.
He became one with the Force, so he could be a Force ghost. And Mark Hamill loves Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, but
more than his own son.
But I will say that I have a strong feeling that he's not going to visit. He's going to haunt Kylo.
That'd be so cool.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, you would think, okay, yeah, Force, he's going to guide Rey and whatever. Rey has the books.
Yeah.
Technically, she doesn't need guidance. And it's funny because when you watch the movie the second time, Yoda says...
Yoda's in it, by the way.
Yeah. Yoda says she has everything she needs.
Nothing was in that tree that she doesn't already have.
So you would think, oh, she just knows. No, she has the books. She has the Jedi texts. So, you know, with that, it's
and the idea that
so she doesn't, not that she doesn't need Luke, but I bet when we see Luke, it's not to visit Rey, it's to visit Kylo, because he specifically says, "When you strike me down, I'll become more powerful than you could imagine." Or whatever.
And the idea that she's going to build up a new Jedi Order ties into the last thing. Well, one of the last things it said was, "We are what they grow beyond." That's the burden of a master. That was this movie. Was here's the old guard passing everything on to the new people. Poe Dameron is going to be the big leader of the Resistance. Rey is the new. She's the new ObiWan Kenobi. Finn is just trying his fucking best. and that brings us to Drunk Rose.
Yeah. Well, and also, just real quick, Kylo Ren says, "Let the past die. Kill it if you have to." Which is what Rian Johnson did.
I'm sure that was like, so what's your idea for the Star Wars movie? You let the past die, you fucking kill it if you have to. Like, hire this man and make Kylo Ren say that.
You know, this is not going to go the way you planned, like you had mentioned.
Yeah, half the shit that they say in that movie is really just like Rian Johnson in the writer's room being like, no. Let the past die. Kill it if you have to. What? Oh, no, dude, this is not going to go the way that you think.
Okay, so with that, this movie finds Finn with a new love interest.
Drunk Rose.
Drunk Rose. Because, okay, obviously, when we see the movie, when we see Episode 7, Finn meets Rey, says a line that bothers the shit out of you. You have a boyfriend? Cute boyfriend? Because you're like, cute boyfriend shouldn't be a phrase that exists.
There's so many fucking words that shouldn't be in Star Wars just because nothing like them has been. Boyfriend, jacket, hair...
Big ass.
Yeah, big ass door. I'm trying. There were more that really bugged me. Mop. It was like, oh, who knows where this is on Star Wars Story? And Finn's like the guy that used to mop it. Like, you fuckers aren't using mops. and I get that, like, as technology advances, we call different things the same thing as before. Like, this is a phone, but like there's old ass phones, but like they have communicators.
Yeah.
So they shouldn't have fucking mops. No, comlinks, right? They have comlinks. So they shouldn't have mops. They should have, like, molecular floor clean blasters.
Environmental stabilizers.
Moss Swiffers. Grand Moff Swiffers. So yeah, cute boyfriend bugged the shit out of me.
Yeah, so he says, "Do you have a boyfriend, a cute boyfriend?"
Yeah.
So Finn,
oh yeah, cute bugged me too.
Yeah, cute boyfriend.
Oh, and buddy. Every time Poe says buddy, I'm like, don't call people buddy. That's fucking unprofessional. You're on the set of a Star Wars movie, you asshole.
That's what Rochester parents call their kids, buddy.
That's exactly what I fucking do too.
Every parent, I learned that once I went to Rochester, something like this. Every parent called their child buddy. At least like, the boys.
I was about to like help you out and jumping on people about fuck man, that's exactly what I do. Like, buddy, you might not get your red dragon belt today.
But I totally threw Austin for a loop on that one. It's the truth though.
So right.
So Finn obviously has a bit of a crush on Rey,
His first words upon waking up in this movie is Rey.
Yeah, Rey, and then like when he sees Poe, first question is
you probably have 1,000 questions for me. Where's Rey? Also, don't say 1,000. It's weird. It's creeping Austin out.
That's a Deca system.
You fuckers are on base 8. Don't say that. Well, no. It's just he says you must have 1,000 questions. Like that's an Earth idiom. You must have a lot of questions. Say that.
So he goes. So so he kind of has a crush on Rey. At least it's hinted at.
This is the first woman I've met that wasn't my superior.
Oh yeah, Captain Phasma. But okay, so
there's a little bit of foyer going on there. Get me some Phasma too. Yeah, you never heard that phrase, foyer? It's when there's like a kind of sexual tension between someone and their enemy. Called foyer.
Oh, I learned a new word.
Yeah.
But okay, so
I don't think it's a real word. It's just like an internet phrase.
Oh, okay. So we kind of invented this Star Wars fan fiction a week after the movie came out.
It was the day it came out. We were talking about this shit.
So okay, so now in the movie, Rose, Rose first encounters Finn almost abandoning ship. Part of her job was like stopping people from abandoning ship. She tases him.
But first she's like, "Oh my god, it's Finn, total fucking cape chaser."
And cape chaser meant for those in my world, cape chaser is a person who's a groupie for superheroes.
It's superpowered starfuckers.
Yeah, and so they're not. Yeah, they're not superpowered.
It's funnier to say cape chaser. I'm trying to stay on brand here.
So she's a cape chaser, and she's super excited to see him. Finn, who doesn't feel like he's a superhero.
I'm not a hero. I'm twice a traitor. Yeah. If you see the backpack.
Yes. Well, he betrays the First Order. Mm. He tries to leave in Episode 7 when they go to that bar. He's like, you can get me off this planet or whatever. Maz Kanata's bar.
Takodana. That's the name of that planet.
Oh, okay. So he tries. Ladies. So he tries to leave. Then this is the third time he's trying to. He was ready.
He should just leave the Star Wars.
For a guy for a guy that's being like pushed onto us as the hero, he's a fucking coward. Yeah. He really is. And so Rose meets him. Together they kind of figure out. They had.
Hey, we can kill Luke Skywalker in a roundabout way.
And then I guess another part of this is that Rey's sideways connection to the whole Star Wars was that. Her sister was there her sister was like the last bomber.
Rose is not Rey. You said Rey.
Rey's? Did I say Rey?
You said Rey.
Rey? Oh, Rose.
We're talking about Rose.
Rose
Tycho
has a sideways connection to the. Okay, now maybe answer this question. Leia didn't want Poe to go on that suicide mission,
right?
But yet they had bombers ready to go because he cleared out the surface cannons.
Yes,
so the bombers can go.
Right.
Yes.
Yes. The idea was, the service cannons were also firing at the fleet. Poe was in command. Uh-huh. So basically, Poe had this big plan. As soon as Leia saw, okay, this is our chance to get out of here, Leia's a woman. she told Poe, okay, I'm ordering you to call off your dogs. But he's like, nope, they still answer to me, this is what we're doing. Oh. So basically, she had a direct line to Poe. Poe was... So it wasn't like...
He was being a hotshot. He was being a hero.
Exactly. It's so like, Snap Wexley doesn't hear Leia on the comms. He was Poe. Snap Wexley wasn't there because he had to go he had to go shoot Geeking Out with Kevin Smith.
Greg Grunberg's a nice guy. From what I get.
Saved his ass though. So we got to go finish this only season of Geeking Out. The idea was... They weren't all disobeying.
So the bombers were on their way.
The bombers were part of the plan, pretty much. And then when the dreadnought showed up, Poe was like, "Hey, okay, so that's what it is. Is the idea was first just take out Hux's ship with the bombers if you can. We gotta just kind of stall for time and keep things going here till the evacuation's done." Mm-hmm. Then the dreadnought showed up. Oh. And Leia's like, "There's a fucking dreadnought. We need to leave." And Poe's like, "No, I've got something for this.
Oh, okay,
I can handle this. We're good." And he was...
I got Paige.
I've got Paige. She's like super fucking resilient. She'll get the job done.
The bombers show up and just immediately get fucking obliterated.
It's like
because you're slow.
It was kind of a stupid move on the first bombardier's part, because he's like, all right, bombs are armed, like you're not even over the dreadnought yet, and then bombs are armed, a TIE fighter crashes into you and fucking every bomb explodes because you armed them like a fucking idiot. It's like bombs are armed, he fucking lights a cigar and like a spark hits it and fucking ends the resistance and kills Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, and they say, it was the fighters' job to protect the bombers from the TIE fighters. Yes. I guess, they're overwhelmed or whatever. Every fucking bomber besides one.
And then Poe's wing woman is just like, all right, bombers, keep that tight formation. We want you all fucking dead.
We want you to crash into the other one.
She's like, keep that tight formation. I'm like, why didn't I see this the first time through? That was the worst fucking call you could have made to a bunch of bombers. All right, I want you all to bunch together in front of the super weapons.
So
I don't like this movie anymore. We're trying to get to Drunk Rose, and I'm ruining the opening scene.
But okay, so Paige, Rose's sister, is on the ship. Apparently, the guy who was supposed to release the bombs got killed or whatever. And
I don't know how, and that bugged me too, because like her ship is untouched, but the bombardier's dead.
He's incapacitated or dead or whatever.
Yeah, because Paige was the gunner. The bombardier was the bombardier, and then there was a pilot up there too.
Yeah, so she had to climb. Technically, she had to climb the ladder, get to the button, push the button, unleash it.
Rather than just be like, "Hey, I know you're flying this, but like, can you drop those bombs quick?"
So she goes. All this crazy stuff is happening. She goes to get the remote. Another blast hits the bomber. She falls.
Definitely breaks her fucking spine.
You think she broke her spine? Well, yeah,
she would have climbed the ladder if she didn't break her fucking spine.
But she had enough to bang her leg or kick her foot against the.
Where's the spine again?
No, if you broke your spine, could you still lift your leg and kick a ladder?
It severed her spinal cord, just like fucking broke her back. She can't get up.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Like what Bane did to Batman, not what gravity did to Superman.
So she kicks the ladder. Some people say that was her Silent Bob moment.
Silent Bob says it was her Silent Bob moment.
The remote goes by her now in a pure Rochester moment. In part of dramatic, the remote flies by her. And you hear like the most Rochester person go like, "What she like? Oh shit!" Or
it's like, "Oh no,
oh no!" But the person who said it in Rochester had the quintessential Rochester.
Oh no!
Oh no! And but then Paige catches the remote, lets the bombs go.
And someone's like, "Wow!"
And then the bombs come hitting Dreadnought, which I guess apparently gravity works in outer space. I mean, they were over a planet.
Couldn't they be propelled?
Yeah, I guess maybe arming them. I don't know.
Or could they be gravitating to that massive fucking dreadnought?
Yeah, I guess. For some reason, I'm thinking like they're falling out of the ship, but they're in space.
Right, but like the International Space Station, there's gravity there. It's just the whole thing's constantly fucking falling, so you don't know.
It's terrifying.
Well, it's a controlled fall where it's like going sideways as it falls, so then that's what we call it. But essentially, gravity's acting on you. It's just acting on your surroundings identically, so you're weightless in it. So if you flew a bomber above the ISS and then dropped bombs pointing them down toward the planet, they'd fall.
Okay.
So same deal with
the planet was in the background, so even if it was the planet's gravity bring down.
And now, having said that, I don't think the Dreadnought and the bombers were oriented for that to work with the planet's gravity, but
I think
it's the Star Wars, man. She also opens the bomb bay doors and can breathe still.
Yeah, I think because the shields...
Well, no, she puts her glasses down.
No, because in this universe, shields can... You can have a shield, but then also have... Because the whole thing about this movie is their main cruiser, the Rebels cruiser, the shields come up, but you can shoot a jet, so the jets go through the shield, which I guess most of these big ships have a shield that's up.
I believe the deflector
and the TIE fighters fly through it.
Yeah. I think the deflector shields are like selectively permeable to where like they'll let things out but not in.
Yeah.
And their deflector shields, I feel like it's like an active scan sort of thing like that. That's why they can have rear shields where it's just something's about to hit, shield comes up and...
Oh, okay. I mean, the same way every hangar band Star Wars is just open to space. It looks like it's open to space.
It's got the ray shields, though.
So maybe
not Ray, but...
Well, maybe there's ray shields on the bottom of the bomber. Where the doors can open, you can see outer space, but she doesn't suffocate. Okay.
Not that it helps her much.
Yeah, we can't do that with a severed spine.
Because this has taken us a while to get to, but she dies. She blows up the dreadnought, and then her bomber explodes.
So we have Ray.
Rose.
Rose. I'm sorry.
Ray's the one that has been in the last movies.
Rose.
Almost doing talking.
Doing talking hard. Rose was in love with Finn. And so we sort of came up with this whole story after the movies where Rose, I mean, and I totally forgot in this movie that they kiss. She does kiss Finn.
And
before she collapses.
Finn's way not into the kiss. He's just like,
well, he wasn't expecting it also.
Well, and it's like, you just fucked things up. You might have just killed the Resistance, and you could have killed me, and we would have changed nothing. And then she's like, but you're just so sexy. She doesn't say sexy, that would bug me too. She's just like, it's like, why did you do that? She's like, I saved you.
I saved you.
We're not going to win this world destroying what we hate. We're going to do it saving what we love. And then she just kisses him without his consent, which, like, she's going to have to fucking resign from the Resistance now.
So we have this whole series of stories where Rose shows up at Finn's house.
Just fucking hammered.
Always drunk.
Yeah, she's always drunk trying to seduce him, but, like, it always turns into how he's a coward and her sister's a hero. Like, fucking, Paige died for the Resistance. You didn't die for anything. Like, I fucking tried to.
I was heading right towards the miniature Death Star tech cannon.
And it's like, Rose, these nights could be a lot more fun if you didn't show up drunk.
Well, I wear a fan. Oh, you still wear that jacket? Like, you're wearing Poe's jacket.
Is there something going on with you and Poe? Because if there is, you have to tell me, because friends don't not tell me.
Friends don't lie, Finn.
I watch Stranger Things.
God, you have to get it.
Nancy looked so great in that outfit. That's why I always drink wine.
Finn. Stop saying my name. Oh, I guess the porgs like it. Finn.
Finn.
Alright, go to bed. My sister.
My sister died. You didn't die.
As a hero. You were a traitor 3 times.
So that's hours of entertainment. And then, so once we had that established, Rose crashes into Finn's little skid thing to keep him from killing himself to save everyone. Would have been, like, real noble and cool and a nice center. And then he's like, what did you do? And she's like, I saved you, dummy. And, like, says it so fucking drunk, I laughed my ass off in the theater.
I saved you.
I saved you, dummy. Oh, yeah, dummy. There's another one.
Oh. Yeah. Did she say dummy?
Yeah.
Oh. That's another word that doesn't...
There's another Earth idiom that needs to stay the fuck out of Star Wars.
Dear Rian Johnson.
First of all, fuck you for killing off Luke Skywalker. Second of all, fuck you harder about Akbar.
Now... Luke's hand. One thing that we didn't see in the movie, but that has been addressed from people at our job. There's one other guy at our job that's obviously like super into fucking Star Wars.
I'm sorry about the crinkly bag. I gotta feed these guys haste. They stop ruining the podcast.
Hey, Timothy.
Hey, Timothy.
So we do see when Luke dies, much like when Yoda dies and Kenobi dies, they collapse and then their robes kind of just float away or just collapse. Does Luke's hand? He had a robot hand. It's not part of the Force.
Yeah, does it just
clunk? Like there's I guess apparently somewhere on Octum, whatever the fuck that was. No, that's dry. Someone on Octum. Octo
or Achto.
There's a.
I don't think they say it in the movie.
There's a hand. There's a
robot hand just chilling around. Pretty soon there's going to be artificial. A Porg's going to find that hand and become king of the Porgs.
That's the Infinity Gauntlet. It's the Porg's Infinity Gauntlet. And he uses it to choke other Porgs because they don't have hands. So we obviously don't see the hand. That would have been kind of like a cheap a cheap little gag or whatever to see the
Right.
hand just fall.
Would have ruined a beautiful moment. Like, Luke Skywalker's becoming one with the Force.
Thunk. And I said the hand should have just got up and crawled away, Thing style from Addams Family. But then also, like, remember Luke's actual hand died a long time ago. Like, did Luke eventually like?
They're like reunited in the afterlife.
Like the hand is like the hand puppet. Like, where have you been all this time?
Or like runs at him like a happy dog. Like, it's my arm.
My hand's back. Give me my hand, man.
Hand man.
Let me see. The Yoda puppet. I was really thrown off by Yoda puppet.
Yeah.
The first time I saw the movie, I was really thrown off. Watching it now, that I was expecting the Yoda puppet.
Yoda puppet was a lot better the second time.
Yeah, and I wonder.
He's an acquired puppet.
He looked chubby, but then again, I remember that towards when Yoda died, he was like cross-eyed and he looked a little off.
Yeah, he had that dementia thing on.
So I think maybe it didn't look familiar because the eyes were straight, the Yoda puppet. But yeah, once again, because I'm like. They have the files. I'm pretty sure someone has the rendered files of Yoda somewhere on a computer.
Right, but like they've done Puppet Yoda before, and people seem to agree that if he's not lightsaber fighting, do Puppet Yoda.
I don't know. I've come to grow. I've come to like.
I've come to
CGI
grow
Yoda. I come to grow. I don't know. I liked.
I grow to come.
Nice. You know, I was surprised that it wasn't CGI Yoda.
I'm happy it wasn't.
C-3PO doesn't have his red arm anymore without any explanation. He kind of mentions like, "Oh, I gotta get." Or I think when R2 finally wakes up in Episode 7, he's like,
"Oh, I should get this fixed." But like,
he gets it fixed.
It's like we blew up Starkiller Base. The First Order's on their way. Hold on. Let me just finish spray painting this arm.
Sandblast.
All right, let's evacuate.
You could have been maybe with red paint.
It's entirely possible. Does it effectively change anything if they're blasting it with sand to make it gold or with gold paint to make it gold? They're blasting it with something that's becoming gold.
Gotcha. All right, so what do we call this trilogy?
The Star Wars.
There's the original trilogy. There's the prequels. The sequels?
I
call it the sequel trilogy?
I was just going to let you get there on your own because you went with postquels. Yeah, this is the sequel trilogy.
The sequel trilogy. And then we're gonna need a name for the Rian Johnson. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm pissed. I'm kind of pissed off with what he did, but now I'm super curious on what he's going to do. Because like, here's a guy who obviously doesn't give a fuck about convention, give a fuck about keeping any kind of continuity. He's
one of those guys who's like, I don't give a fuck, but wants everyone to know how little of a fuck he gives. Like,
I'm gonna say it real loud.
Like, shows up in a leather jacket and says the N words, like, "Oh, I'm sorry, Snowflake. Did I kill Luke Skywalker?" Metaphorically and literally.
Wait, what?
Just because very vastly different.
Finn?
No, like
Finn showed up in a leather jacket and killed Snoke.
No. Just like Luke had a very vastly different characterization than normal, and then he died. So Rian Johnson killed him figuratively and literally.
Gotcha. All right. So, anything else you want to talk about before we? Oh, wait, okay. No, I got one last thing.
All right.
The cave scene when Rafe goes into the cave, and and I know it's supposed to be the way like Luke faced Vader, and it's sort of like it gives you whatever you want to see, or
like the Mirror of Erised.
Yeah.
From Harry Potter.
Oh. Okay.
Sorry, is that?
Yeah, that went over my head. But so
the Mirror of Erised is a mirror in Harry Potter that shows you your heart's deepest desire.
Oh.
And if you look at the word Erised in a mirror, it's spelled. Yeah.
Desire with the letters backward. I mean, I'm just saying. But
you're fucking worse than Rian Johnson. Ruining my shit.
So, once again, with Rian Johnson destroying all these fucking mysteries from Episode 7, I was like, maybe there's an allegory, something the mirrors mean something, maybe Rey's some sort of clone, because there's so many of her. She asks to see her parents.
And the mirror says no.
And the mirror shows us two silhouettes that come into one. What the fuck does that mean?
And then they become Rey.
The one person should have been Rian Johnson. And Rian Johnson said, fuck you.
Well, no, it's two silhouettes, her parents, merge into one, her. That's what matters. It
doesn't matter who her parents are.
Who gives a fuck who her parents are?
Made her.
They come together and they make you. You have what's in front of this mirror right now. This is your potential. Figure that shit out. Doesn't matter who the fuck you're. And that's...
Were they drunks that could use the...
I'm Coda. Cool. But no, I think that's a decent metaphor both for Rey to figure out and for the audience of, oh, here's the silhouettes. They're no one. They don't matter. You don't need to see who they are. Here's what's important is that Rey is here. And who Rey is and what she can do, that's what matters. Her parents, who fucking cares? Is it going to make her any better at being a Jedi if her grandpa was Obi-Wan Kenobi, who's dead now?
Spoilers. He died like in the first 20 minutes of the first movie. No, about 45 minutes.
Yeah, it's about an hour and a half. Like, he dies, then Death Star run, and the movie's over.
Oh, yeah.
Also, really quick movie. Not a lot happens in the first Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's an epic space opera. Is it though? They go like 3 places.
And nothing happened in this one either.
Tomb Raider globetrots more than that.
Ryan Johnson's a genius.
You want to wrap about the trailers real quick before we go?
About the trailers?
Just the cool movies coming out?
Oh, so what we saw, I mean, I guess, Tomb Raiders? Because I don't know, since you mentioned just Tomb Raider.
That's just what
seems to be the one that's...
Tomb Raider looks neat. It looks better than the other Tomb Raider movies.
Alicia Vikander from Ex Machina. Did you see Ex Machina?
I did not see Ex Machina.
It's a good movie. It's a very good... And it stars both Poe Dameron and General Hux.
I knew that about it. And
both those actors.
Don't they make out? Oh, no, that's the script I wrote.
That's in my... Star Wars fan fiction.
General Hux fucks. Oh yeah, do you notice he's saying hugs at the start?
General Hugs?
Yeah, when Poe Dameron was talking, I was like, oh yeah, I've got an important message for General Hugs. He keeps saying hugs. I didn't pick up on it the first time because people were laughing too hard. It's been a week in, half the theater probably already saw it, so he's saying hugs and it's hugs with an H. Oh yeah, freak nasty. Should we talk about Freak Nasty?
So Freak Nasty in the scene where episode 7 where Poe Dameron and Finn are in the TIE fighter. I guess FN 281272187. Now I'm gonna call you Finn.
Yeah, he was like FN. I don't like it. FN. I'm gonna call you Finn. I'm
gonna call you Freak Nasty.
It's like FN, huh? I'm gonna call you Freak Nasty. No, Freak Nasty. I like it.
So we can. I think those two worlds could exist in the same, Drunk Rose and Freak Nasty.
Yeah. Just total bro Poe who gives people nicknames and shit, and then Drunk Rose.
Give me
why does Poe call you Freak Nasty? Is that like a gay thing?
Yeah, that's nasty.
But I don't like it. Can I watch and say ew?
Sort of a cuck, but a homophobe at the same time.
Kind of like a cuckophobe.
Finn.
Freak Nasty.
And the reason I say that is because the reason we keep repeating Finn is because there was a girl that I was talking to who for some reason kept saying my name in text messages. Chris. That's so funny, Chris. Hey, Chris, when are you going to come over?
So I was doing the Drunk Rose thing, and I said...
You kept saying Finn.
But I said it one more time, and I just really, really chewed on the word from it. I was like, all right, Finn. And then you're like, why do you keep saying my name? I knew that was going to be the one to get you.
And I was like, that's right from my life.
I knew that was going to be the one.
Right. Stop saying my name.
Tomb Raider looks cool.
Tomb Raider looks cool.
Cooler than Tomb Raider and Tomb Raider Cradle of Life.
Yeah. They had that first man from Wallace and Gromit.
Oh,
that looked cute. That
movie was funny.
The funny thing is, I don't think I've ever seen any Wallace and Gromit. I've seen the Wallace and Gromit shorts, but I've never seen any.
There was only Curse of the Were-Rabbit. There was Chicken Run, but that wasn't Wallace and Gromit.
Oh, okay. But wasn't there one more movie that was from or something? The same, the guy who made those, but it was the same style. But
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess I've never seen Chicken Run or Curse of the Were-Rabbit.
When you went opening night, did they run the trailer for Mortal Engine?
No.
Fucking watch the trailer for Mortal Engine. I hope that's not your computer going to sleep.
Well, let me see. The screen hasn't been touched, but it should be recording. Yeah, it looks like it's recording. Yeah, it's still working. Mortal Engines?
Yeah, it's cities are on wheels and cruising through wastelands and shit. And Peter Jackson's producing. It looks fucking cool.
Wow. Let me see. When I went, it was this movie called Alpha about it's like a caveman tribe. A kid falls off a cliff, breaks his leg.
Good.
And a wolf comes to eat him. and somehow he gets the wolf to like not eat him.
That's the weirdest way to say kills a wolf.
Well, no, because
somehow gets it to not eat him.
No, but that's the whole deal of the movie is he earns the friendship of the wolf and ends up feeding the wolf and caring for the wolf. But like he straightens his own leg out, like he uses rocks and like snaps his leg back into place. Somehow but the wolf comes to eat him because the wolf is there like with his teeth bared.
But then he eats the wolf to come.
And I'm not even gonna go there. No, so
I was just flipping your sentence.
So he then he starts taking care of the wolf, and you see him like he brings the wolf like a weird like bowl of water, and the wolf is drinking, and then like then the wolf like joins him in the hunt, and it's supposed to be like see the story that changed the civilization or whatever, like how we domesticated dogs, like the first wolf that was domesticated.
Oh, so it's like based on a true story? Well, maybe.
If true stories are from caveman days.
Based on the fact that this had to have happened because we have dogs now.
Yeah. So yeah, it's supposed to be like about the first caveman with a wolf. Domesticated dog.
Sounds
interesting. Yeah. The execution doesn't look that great, to be honest with you. I mean, it looks very like 10,000 BC. That kind of Gods of Egypt sort of.
I think I'm fine then.
Yeah. Commuter, which was
the Liam Neeson.
The Liam Neeson on the train. It's taken on a train. I'm gonna take you on a train tonight. Liam Neeson's cock is so big, he could make a train movie.
You can commute on it.
You need to take a train to get to the tip.
Commuter looks cool.
Commuter, for what it is,
Wrinkle in Time looks like I might catch 20 minutes of it on TV time.
Wrinkle in Time. Oprah's back in the movies. It's been a while.
Has it been since Color Purple?
Color Purple, I think. She's like, I'm producing this motherfucker. That's the whole thing I'm watching. I'm like, I'm like, is fucking Oprah Winfrey?
Is that Oprah? Is that Oprah next to Reese Witherspoon?
Yeah, and Zach Galifianakis. What fucking drugs are we on? But it's sort of like
that movie is very firmly not my thing.
Yeah, but it's Disney. For some reason, I thought it was like, is this like Futureland or?
It doesn't feel like Disney. It feels like whoever made Willy Wonka,
or
it feels like something that studio would
like
do.
Lemony Snicket. Unfortunate.
Bridge to Terabithia.
Yeah.
It feels like Bridge to Terabithia.
Yeah.
Was that Disney?
No.
It feels like Bridge to Terabithia.
Yeah. Definitely that fantasy. I guess, look, Oprah's like, fuck it. It would probably, I'll take the change that came out of my couch and make this fucking movie.
Yeah, she probably, she was probably like, hey, I really like A Wrinkle in Time. I just read it last week. Can we make it?
Okay.
Well, you're Oprah, so yes. Any yes or no question you ask me, if it's a permission thing, yes.
But I am surprised that, like, in the Chris Pine plays the dad. I don't know. I have no idea what Wrinkle Time is. I know it's an existing property, but like Chris Pine is the father of this.
I don't think it was Chris Pine in the book, but
what I'm just saying is that like the character is biracial. Is the character biracial, or are they forcing a biracial character into the movie because Oprah's like, I'm going to make a movie, I'm going to put Chris Pine as the dad, but the girl has to have black or something like that?
I neither know nor care why she's biracial.
But I'm just saying, very. Which, from a conversation we were having earlier this week, I rewatched Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Yeah, and Liz was biracial in that just to throw you off, just so until the door opens a crack, it never enters your mind that like, oh shit, her dad's the Vulture. And as soon as the door starts to open, whoops, spoilers for Spider-Man: Homecoming. Welcome to fucking summer 2017. But yeah, and then as soon as the door opens, before you see Michael Keaton, you're like, it's the fucking Vulture, isn't it? Ah, you got me!
Yeah, but that being said, when you rewatch that movie, that poor girl who did absolutely nothing wrong, besides being gorgeous and smart,
bitch,
and rich, did nothing wrong, and had her life destroyed by Peter Parker.
Who, had he done nothing for the whole movie, would have hurt fewer people.
Yeah.
And like the Vulture would have had cool alien tech that was just going in storage, and maybe they could have helped in the Infinity War.
Yeah, well, I mean, they are selling weapons.
Right.
They're selling weapons to ATM robbers.
They're selling weapons to humans. Also, had Spider-Man not tried to stop the ATM robbery, the bodega wouldn't have exploded.
True. But yeah, when you rewatch the movie again, just see how fucked his life gets because of Peter Parker.
He could have just... Oh, man.
Hey, he stands her up at the fucking homecoming. He doesn't. He shows up at her party and then leaves.
He could have gone to the homecoming, made one fucking phone call, said, hey, the Vulture's stealing your shit, this is where his base is.
Yeah. Hey, Tony Stark. Yeah. Because obviously Tony Stark hears those voicemails because he mentions the churro.
Also, are we assuming that all of Tony Stark's shit isn't low-jacked, that he can't just look for it?
Yeah.
Run a quick scan of like, oh, hey, the guys that stole my plane landed it here. This is where they are. I'm going to take my stuff back because I'm Iron Man.
True.
Spider-Man just made things worse.
Yeah. He could have just stood at home. He could have gotten laid. She was ready to fuck him. He was so in there like swimming.
This has been Two Strangers, One Podcast.
That's it. Go out on a bang, baby. But, alright, well, no. I'm just saying is he could have gotten laid, and he's too busy being Spider-Man.
And so now somebody else is in there like swimming.
So anything else you want to address?
Not after that.
All right. Well, let me do all my whole outro stuff. Please visit twostrangersonepodcast.net where you can find all things show related. You can find links to our iTunes page. You can download, subscribe to us on iTunes, on an iPhone, iPad, or iPod. If you don't have an iPhone, iPad, or iPod, you can download us on the Stitcher app. That's STITCHER for Android devices. That's the Stitcher app. I use the available offline option and listen later option, so you don't have to kill your data, you don't have to kill your battery when your Wi-Fi spot. Get all the episodes you want to listen to, and listen to them later. And of course, we are available on the SoundCloud app. That is our hosting site. I make sure all the episodes are downloadable. I think on iPhones they are downloadable, but on Androids they aren't. So that's why I'm a little like... But if you go to the website on SoundCloud, you can find us, and you can download them from there if you want to do. If you want to write to us, you can write to us at twostrangersonepodcast@gmail.com. That's all spelled out, Two Strangers One Podcast. I got a brand new computer. Thank you to my dad for helping me out with basically a payment for the computer because we're recording this on a new system, and it sounded good when I was recording earlier. So, thank you, Dad.
I'm sure it was the old computer holding you back and not this antique microphone we're using.
The microphone has soul. It has spirit. It has
you guys seeing all this soul in the podcast?
I haven't. The funny thing is with the new computer, I don't have time to sign into the email account right now, but no one writes us anyway. But if you want to write us, you can write us at Two Strangers One Podcast.
Well, what happened to that one fan that writes all the time?
He fell off the fucking face of the earth. I don't know what happened.
Literally?
Well, I don't know.
You think the Earth's flat? Oh, we got another hour to go then, man.
Well, let's go to the space station. Look. But yeah, but you can write to us at twostrangersonepodcast@gmail.com. We want your money. We need your money. And until we set up a Patreon, what you can do is you can share and like us on Facebook. Just go to facebook.com/twostrangersonepodcast. Once again, all spelled out. And share this episode, like the page, share the entire page, and that'd be great. We also have a YouTube group, Two Strangers One Podcast Network. Let me see what else. We're on Twitter at Stranger Podcast. The episodes that are available online right now are really only from the past year. If you want to go back and listen to any of our other episodes from more than 5 years ago, we are on YouTube. Just search for Two Strangers One Podcast. You can find all the earlier 200 some odd shows. You can find my Stranger Vlogs, which I've done about 40 so far, and I have 2 in the pipe. And 2 up the butt, 2 in my anus, like a finger. And I also have my audiobook. If you want to hear my second book, Odd I See, A Tale from the Road, you can listen to it totally for free on YouTube. Just search for Odd I See, A Tale from the Road. Also available on YouTube. And that's about it. I can't think of her speak on.
I got nothing going on, man.
I was like, fuck that. I got shit I got to do.
If you guys can tell me how to beat this part of Zelda I'm stuck on, that'd be great. Shoot me an email. Thunderblight Ganon's a bitch.
Thunderblight Ganon. So if you have any way to beat Thunderblight Ganon, you can write to us at twostrangersonepodcast@gmail.com.
Thanks. Get some traffic in that email account. Bunch of people telling me how bad I am at the game.
That's like the first half of the game. Like not even the first half.
Well, no, it's because you can tackle those dungeons in any order.
Oh, okay. Which I think is a total ripoff of Shadow of the Colossus, but for another day.
You can't tackle those in any order.
I guess.
Oh, you proved me wrong. But I'm committing
shut
to
up.
it.
All right. Well, we certainly hope you guys enjoyed listening, had as much fun as we did recording. Thank you for listening to the Strangers One podcast. I'm Chris.
I'm Austin.
Don't be a stranger. Peace. We're out. Bye.
Chocolate.
You should be fapping. Balls.
All right, here we go, man. Go ahead. You want to read
Double
it?
Jackpot.
What is it?
It is a self-published book by Christopher Cologne.
Chris Cologne smells good to me.
But
Look at her. That broke that fucking cold little exterior. He's like, hee.
But it is spelled Colon.
Him punny.
But Double Jackpot is a book about a comic book artist, Eric, who is in a loveless relationship with a materialistic
I feel you, Eric.
Lynette.
Oh, fucking. Are you sure I didn't write this? Sounds hauntingly familiar.
He starts cheating on his girlfriend with a more creatively supportive woman, Nadia.
Well, I gotta meet her. Where's the Nadia?
There's your summer girlfriend.
Summer Nadia. It's Nadia.
Nadia?
Yeah, I think Nadia's spelled with an A.
All right.
Both Lynette and Nadia play the double jackpot, the largest payout in lotto history, much like the recent Powerball. Both girls play his birth date as the winning numbers. Eric is now stuck between two of the country's richest women. Who will he choose? It's not that simple. This is a clever fucking idea,
Yeah, it
man.
is.
Look at her, fucking. She's impressed.
I am.
She got some summer reading. Christopher Cologne smells real lovely with an original idea. This is. I've never heard this before.
I haven't either. This is a self-published book, much in the indie spirit as Kev's Clerks.
Oh, you don't even need to name check me. This is just a good idea. You could stand on your own, man. You don't even have to be like, hey, remember Clerks? This is nothing like that. This is way more original than Clerks. This is a good idea, man. Why didn't I think of this?
I need something to read. This book is part of the Comic Books, Heavy Metal, Video Games Trilogy Book 2. Odd I See, A Tale from the Road, coming soon.
Right on, man. It's part of a trilogy. This is the first part.
Way to write, man.
He's seeking a literary agent. Motherfuckers, anybody out there? There ain't no literary agents listening to this show. I assure you, sure. Sure. I assure you, sure. But somebody know a literary agent? Hook a motherfucker up! Chris Cologne come up with an original idea. I should tell Raskin. That's a good fucking idea, to be honest with you. That's a fucking rom-com right there. Megan, get Raskin on the phone. Isn't it possible to get Raskin on the phone? No?
Yeah.
I want to run it past him, man. I want to, and if it happens, I get a taste, Chris Cologne. I get a whiff, if you will.
The book could also be ordered on www.lulu.com.
That's lulu.com.
I understand that. I just want to spell it out.
Normally one says it, that spells it. Still, lulu.com. What is that? Do you know what it is?
I don't know. All right. The book could also be ordered on www.lulu.com. Search for Double Jackpot Christopher Cologne. A paperback version of the book is $15 and a PDF file is only $5.
$5 is
Yeah.
insanely inexpensive. 15 is not even that bad for a paperback version.
No.
This is $1 million idea right here. Like a movie about a dude who fucking is stuck between two chicks, both of who play his birthday and win the lottery. Come on! I can see that trailer. Chris Cologne is on to something. Nobody else can smell it but me.
I'll read it.
Thank you. I'm going to make that smelly joke.
I know. You're trying to get me to laugh again.
It worked once. Double Jackpot is a self-published book by Chris Cologne, man. It's the first book in his comic books, heavy metal, video games trilogy. Book 2, Odd I See, A Tale from the Road, should be coming out soon. Get all the information at Chris Cologne, like a motherfucker.
I will
his
totally
book,
read this.
Double Jackpot. I'm serious. I'm going to recommend that to fucking Raskin. How is that not a movie? You know what I'm saying? This could be a sexy movie. You could do an R-rated version. There could be nudie in it, and you could saw them fucking both chicks. Maybe a little penetration. Maybe a butthole shot. No butthole, no care.
I would like to formally apologize to Christopher Cologne right now.
No, sex sells. Chris Cologne will appreciate that. He's like, thanks for throwing a few buttholes in there, man.
Don't forget to check out twostrangersonepodcast.net, your one-stop resource for everything show-related. You can find links to subscribe to us on iTunes or on Stitcher. You could also find links to buy my book, Double Jackpot, on twostrangersonepodcast.net.
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're cool. And fuck you, I'm out.